Here we go. I feel unbelievably betrayed by feminism. 38-year-old journalist posts video about regretting her selfish, me-focused life after putting off kids. And didn't you say that she backpedaled after the backlash hit in?
Yeah. She started backpedaling after the backlash hit.
Yeah, the feminists came out of the woodwork, tried to make her feel like shit for telling the truth, and instead of realizing...
It's her perspective.
Ugh.
It's her perspective.
It is her perspective.
But the truth is simply this. As a woman ages, the fertility goes down.
A little bit. We're going to get into that.
After a certain point, it goes to goose eggs.
Goose egg. Bye-bye. And you hear all these women all the time. Well, my mom had a baby after 40, and she was just fine. How many older siblings do you have?
That's right.
There you go.
Like if you have not had any, first of all, I want to quantify this. I'm not a fucking doctor.
No.
But I've read enough to be somewhat educated on this.
And there are lots of sources you can look at along with tonight's stream.
If you're a woman and you haven't had any children, and then right around 39, you're like, oh, I better get on it. I'm going to run out of time. All right. As a betting man, I am going to bet on the ship has sailed and you're left crying on the dock. When?
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sorry. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm just speaking facts.
You're telling the truth.
Yeah.
And that's all this woman was doing. She was laying it all out. Feminism is a lie. It is the big lie. And most women have swallowed it, as we're going to get into. Because you could take a look at this Pew Research Center study right here. 61% of U.S. women say feminist describes them well. Many see feminism as empowering and polarizing. Now, it's a little misleading, sort of. They say 19% say it describes them very well, and 42% say somewhat well.
Well, here's the thing. That 42%, those are the chameleons.
Yeah.
Or they don't even know they're feminists. You have to ask them probing questions and then gauge their answers.
Yeah. Even the most traditional woman you will meet today will still have some feminist beliefs.
Correct.
Almost guaranteed. Unfortunate, but reality.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her. It was a whole 6-minute video, and allegedly it could potentially be owned by Fox News, so we can't play it. But we do have some of the best nuggets set aside in this article from Not the Bee. And you can check out the video yourself, of course. There's a link to it right here when you click on this source. So this is Melissa Persling, journalist who writes for a variety of outlets and has been especially open about her life over on Business Insider. Last month, she went viral for this piece. I'm 38 and single, and I've recently realized I want a child. I'm terrified I've missed my opportunity.
You have.
She was married to a middle school sweetheart from Idaho when she was in her 20s.
Okay, stop right there. All right.
She had the dream and gave it up.
How many times have I said this? How many times in your life are you going to get somebody willing to stand up in the house of God in front of his friends and family, shell out thousands of dollars, and promise to take care of you until you fucking die? How many times do you think that's going to happen in your life? She already had it once. She shit on it, and now she gets what she gets. Now, I'm not trying to be mean to her. I'm just saying that in life, second chances are very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Yep. And we've also said this before, that all these women bitching about where have all the good men gone. Every single one of them has known at least a half a dozen guys in their past who are ready to wife them up, put a ring on it, and, and bang only them till death do us part. And they shot them all down.
Yep.
And this woman is living proof.
And in the past 10 years, I've had half a dozen women from my past come sniffing around.
Yep.
I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm discarded. I'm good.
I had one that I only hooked up with one time.
Yeah.
Randomly just decided to reappear and add me on Facebook again. I'm like, what? She took one look at my profile, saw I was happily married with a kid, and deleted the friend request.
Gone.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, all right. So I messaged her cousin. I was like, I'm going to ask you a quick question. She getting divorced? Yeah. How did you know? Gut feeling.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
What are you going to do, man?
So Melissa remembers sitting on the counter talking to him about the future when she was 20. She didn't want kids, and he did. Because he loved her, he tried to make a marriage work, but a decade later, they divorced. Melissa then dated a 58-year-old rich guy and wrote about it. So she was already in her early 30s, going almost 30 years above her age bracket.
I wonder if
trying to score the goods.
I wonder if she wrote stuff like Amy Horton is.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So this is a sample from the video. I wrote a lot of that article truly scared. I really did think, like, wow, you missed your opportunity. You're going to be alone. Ooh, excuse me. There's a beer. You're not going to have a family. Like, I was really scared when I wrote that. That's exactly like I felt. And when I got comments after that article was published, like I said, there were hundreds of guys emailing me, texting me, LinkedIn messaging, commenting on the post saying, you're selfish. You missed out. You knew you could have had it all, but you picked your career. Calling me horrible things. I mean, it was awful. I sat in bed reading these comments and thought, oh my God, they're right.
Well, 2 more years, and you know what time it'll be.
40 to 80.
Long fucking time.
Long fucking time. She says, for me, it's definitely started to feel hollow and meaningless. You know, it's taken me until this point in my life to realize that that's not a life that's going to bring you happiness. And then the author says, ask any parent if they would trade their kids for a bigger house or a bigger career. Maybe 1 in 10,000 would make the trade. Yeah, I wouldn't trade my kid for anything in the world. Nothing.
No, I wouldn't do that either.
She says, it's such a me-focused culture right now. It really is, and I just think a lot of us are missing out. I don't want to wake up at 60 by myself and go, well, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I feel unbelievably betrayed by feminism. I don't want to put it on the movement because I believe you make your own choices. That much is true. And everything I've done coming up to this point in my life has been my choice, and that's on me. But when I was a little girl, it was like, and to be fair, I think this partly comes from a divorced family and seeing my mom kind of handle a lot. Right. Shocker.
Well, hang on here. So she's saying she doesn't want to put it on feminism. Listen, feminism has been in the school indocking young ladies since I was
going to say.
Since, like, I remember 1975. Hearing like the women, anything you could do, we could do better. It was they would always say that until I bounced a dodgeball off their snot locker. The bastards. But you know,
it's absolutely true. The reason why leftoids keep trying to shoehorn in all of this indoctrination that has no place in reality younger and younger is because the younger you teach it to these kids, the less they are going to question it.
That's absolutely correct.
Why do you think Drag Queen Story Hour is only for kids and not burn victims, the elderly, the infirm, or shit, the blind?
Or the mentally impaired.
This is all about the indoctrination of our legacy.
Yep.
Feminism was the successful test subject, and it went over monumentally well if you're a globalist ass-bag kid fucker.
Well, the thing with feminism is, as it marched along and it actually hit all its goals, it ran out of goals and then it branched out into,
well, because
other craziness.
Money is an important aspect of it too.
Yes.
And so if you win the fight and you acknowledge that you've won the fight, that money just kind of, but we still have so much more to do. I mean, office air conditioning is sexist. I mean, look at me. Bing.
Yeah, listen, man.
Come on.
I can't tell you how many times I'm just sick and tired of hearing them whine and complain about how corporate America is so unfair because, you know, they only want the cushy jobs and they're totally ignoring the dud jobs.
Of course, the ones that actually pay well.
Well, because risk equals reward and time equals money.
There you go. And, you know, actual hard work. Since you're twice as likely to work less than 40 hours, ladies.
36 is their average. 36. 40 is considered full-time.
More likely to take time off, less likely to work their full-time hours. And then they want to bitch and complain that they don't earn as much as men. They could get paid the same. They're still going to have a smaller paycheck. You know why? Because you're lazy.
Because time equals money.
Yes. If you would just understand where your place is, you know, and most of you would actually not want to leave. that was one of the unintended side effects of the lockdownerism.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women started staying at home with their kids and realized, you know what?
I like this.
I like this. I don't have to report to a boss who doesn't give a shit
Yes, no
whether or not I
loyalty to you.
exist.
As soon as the profit and loss statement goes against the company, they're going to cut you loose.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's freedom, and living for your husband and children is slavery.
Correct.
Despite the fact there's somebody putting food in your fridge, a roof over your head, taking care of all your amenities, and all of the numerous things in the house that do most of the hard work for you due to the nagger tax.
Correct. The other N-word.
Yes, the other white meat.
It's unbelievable.
Women sure picked their fight for equality at the perfect time. Yeah. Back when we were out, fighting bears with spears.
Well, here's another thing.
They were happy to stay at home.
If you're at home, your wife's in the house, it's after 10 o'clock, and somebody tries to kick your door down, who's really going to go there and deal with that, huh? It's going to be the dude.
There may or may not be a fucked up but funny video later on a similar beat.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep. The dude's going to have to get the gauge of 12 and sweep the floor with some people.
If he's in the mood. Because, if you turned him down for some nookie, he might let somebody sneak into the cookie jar and get all the cookie. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So the thing that really puts the button on it here. Also, it was constantly said, this idea that women can be everything. We don't really need men. Women can have a great career and have the kids that they like and change the tires and do this. I grew up thinking men are great, but I grew up thinking all the same things. I do feel in many ways betrayed by that line of thinking. There you go. A lot of older women in my life, I kind of want to go back to some of these teachers and coaches and say, what the hell did you mean by that? Because women can't do it all. We can't. It's such a lie.
It is. Well, you can do everything, but you do it half as well. And last time I checked, a 50% average is a failing grade.
A little bit.
Boom.
And the person who wrote this article is a male, and he agrees with this sentiment. He says, as a guy, I was well-versed in all unique toxicity of men by the time I was 10.
Wow.
It started young when my kindergarten teacher wanted to put me on Ritalin because I wouldn't sit still like a good little girl. Fortunately, I had a dad who laughed at the idea.
Good.
By the time I was in my teens, I was being taught how men, especially white men, were the source of all the world's problems. I had the role models of Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin to show me how stupid and laughable men are, especially as fathers. I made it through because I had faithful parents who taught me otherwise and because I had a template for masculinity in the Bible. Many men didn't. Unfortunately, our culture is so in slay queen mode, this rot of endless empowerment without wisdom, that it's considered taboo to suggest that maybe women have been sold a lie too.
Boom. There you go.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom.
Hey, I mean, even if she figured this out at 38, even now, geriatric pregnancy is anyone over the age of 35.
Yeah, actually, if
Advanced
you're a woman
maternal age,
and you're the age of 34 and you go see a doctor telling you want to have a kid, you're going to get a bunch of pamphlets.
Yep.
You're going to get a warning talk. And then if you continue on, if say you're 36, you get the harsh talking to. You move from the warning talk to the harsh reality talk that, yes, you may be able to have a kid, but he might be down with this syndrome.
You're not kidding.
Yeah. And I don't wish that on anyone. I really
No, I don't either. And this is not anything new even. We have the Daily Wire from 2017 put this article together. Feminism is leaving a wake of unhappy, unmarried, and childless women in its path. According to a recent study from Yale, liberated college-educated women are freezing their eggs because they can't find a man to marry and have children with before their natural childbearing years expire.
And that's from 6 years back?
Yes.
Okay.
In the UK, for instance, 1 in 5 women is childless when their natural reproductive years expire, as opposed to 1 in 10 a mere generation before.
Wow.
Damn.
Ooh, that's bad.
And of course, I mean, feminism is obviously the answer as to why this is happening. But of course, any American academic is not really going to allow the blaming of feminism. So essentially, what happened here is that the author of the study, his name is Marcia Inhorn, anthropology professor at Yale, concludes that the common assumption about women putting off children to advance their careers is mere myth. 150 women undergoing the egg freezing process in the U.S. and Israel, who were extensively interviewed for the study, claimed they were not putting off having a family in order to advance their career, but simply because they couldn't find a mate.
All right, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If you can't find a man, or if you want to use your career and you want to freeze your eggs, guess what? The minute you go over 35,
you're done.
You're going to try to, bring those eggs to basically a child. You want to grow that in a blown out, worn out tobacco purse of uterus that you have. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's good times.
Listen, a lot of, especially
I'm visualizing it.
The women of today, right? By the time they get to 40, they've had an army of penises run through them. Gallons and gallons of bazooka juice.
5 gallons to be exact, 0.5 of which goes in the back pussy.
That may or may not
in
be
his face.
Infected with VADA.
VADA, yes.
And listen,
especially if you were part of the polyamorous swinger lifestyle, the chances of you contracting an STI within 5 years of engaging in that shit is 40%.
40%, yeah. Yeah, and guess what? Women catch chlamydia, which is gonorrhea light if you do it on a VD scale.
Someone I'm related to caught it twice in a year.
Yeah, but the thing is it's really it's bad for men to get that.
This is bad, right?
Really bad for women.
This is bad.
A lot of times they don't know they have it.
Yep.
And even if they do catch it, and then they catch it over and over again, every single time it does damage to the waxworks.
Yep.
That's a very delicate bunch of you meet in their lower GI area, which can create a human life.
I think that now is as good a time as any to play one of our effed up but funny videos. Modern Women in a Nutshell.
Here we go.
My cousin, who is younger than me, is getting married today. Meanwhile, I have credit card debt. I am in a toxic situationship with one of my exes. Last week, I was so broke that instead of getting an Uber to the airport, I had a random guy from Hinge drive me. And this year, I have had chlamydia twice. So far. Happy wedding.
And that's how you wind up in an early and shallow grave.
A little bit.
I need a ride to the airport. I don't know who the hell you are, but I'm going to get in your car. You can take me anywhere.
Hey, random Hinge guy. I'll give you a road head on the way to the airport if you just take me. Thank you, Digital Dude, for that video.
And first of all, I don't know what that woman was thinking, because the internet is forever.
Forever, exactly. Chlamydia twice
in
a year.
And she looked like she was like in her late or early 30s.
And that means the dude's a raw dog in the road whore.
Yeah. So she might have actually caught it more than just 2 times.
God. And spread it to Lord knows how many in between.
Yeah, that ain't cool, man.
No pun intended, of course.
Nah.
If anybody needs to wash their pussy in the sink,
that would be her.
I hope she uses a wire brush, because it's probably going to be necessary.
God damn, that's harsh.
A little pipe cleaner up in there. She can use them later for her Pippi Longstocking costume. And then have handlebars for the roadhead for the random Hinge rides to the airport at the same time.
Yep. And
you're disgusting.
Here's a funny story here. I ran into a friend of a woman I dated for several years back in the day, right? And this was about 4 or 5 years back. And we're doing the small talk. And I never really liked her.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and she's like, yeah, I don't have any children. And I didn't think it through. I just, because you know how I am. I literally like, well, VD and abortion tends to have that effect. And she literally just turned around and like ran out of the store like in tears.
And he never saw her again.
I obviously hit the bullseye because, it is what it is. Bad trombone. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, you know what? The truth is not an insult and the reality is not an attack.
It's not.
Right? If the truth hurts, it's because somebody's living a lie.
Yeah.
You just let them have it.
Run out of the store.
Full force right in the face. And as far as most of these modern ladies go, it won't be their first rodeo.
No. I know that would really enrage a lot of women if I got up on stage. Like, all right, how many women are over 30 and don't have any kids?
Oh,
Well, it looks like,
most of you.
Chlamydia and abortion tends to have that effect.
And then it'd be like Batman Returns. Why is there somebody who always brings eggs and tomatoes to a speech? Try to swing the umbrella. Damn it, I picked a cute one. Let's jump back into this study here and see how this person who refuses to blame feminism for its obvious effects on modern women who are extraordinarily susceptible to suggestion, thanks to something else that we're going to be coming up, going to be covering later on. Oh, man. She actually winds up telling on herself kind of on accident.
Well, they usually do.
She blames the problem, and we've actually done a whole episode on this, on a shortage of college-educated men.
So it's men's fault now.
Yeah, it's not diversity quotas that are keeping us out of college or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the fact that we understand debt and money, and therefore we don't hold 2/3 of the student debt like other disadvantaged and marginalized people.
Well, most dudes learn the benefit of a cost-benefit analysis very early. Oh, man. Totally got me on that one.
Well, see, the reason why they don't think about the money is because this is what's routinely flying at them on a regular basis, and they're more than happy to catch it in their mouth.
You're not wrong.
I know. So there's a major gap between my thighs. They are literally missing men. There are not enough college graduates for them. In simple terms, this is about an oversupply of educated women. You mean indoctrinated women?
Yeah,
There's a
especially
difference.
if these women are going to school for a college degree that really is not going to give them a good job.
Yeah, because what
Are
can
they
you do?
really college educated?
Yeah,
or not?
what can you do with a gender studies degree except teach gender studies?
Or you could be hired at a company and be a royal pain in the ass.
Yeah,
And you're
because
gonna cause lawsuits and bullshit and turmoil.
and we know for a fact that people who are hiring at these jobs take one look at a resume with pronouns on it and throw it out the window.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if I opened my own business, I probably would not hire women.
Pronouns are bullshit, and that's why this is one of my favorite videos that we've watched recently. I kept this from Pop because I want to catch him by surprise.
Oh no.
I'm Asian. I'm so Asian. My pronouns are he.
Bait and switch. That was expertly
good.
delivered. That's a solid 8 out of 10 right
That's pretty good. That's pretty
there. That's good shit right there. Well done, Asian sir, Mr. Kung Pao Chicken or whatever his name is. Oh, here we go. Most women who are educated would like to have an educated partner. Traditionally, women have also wanted to marry up to go for someone more successful and financially well off. Inhorn then goes on to blame feminism, sort of.
There's no sort of here.
Essentially, because of feminism, liberated women, liberated needs to be in quotes, are college educated but unhappy and alone in exchange, she argues. As a feminist, I think it's great that women are doing so well, but I think there's been a cost that has been paid, adding that women have been left in sadness and isolation. Yes, and when it's women who have put themselves in that position of their own volition, we're supposed to feel bad for them and create policy and more taxes and shit like that. When it's men, well, they're just worthless incels and they need to figure out how to get their penis into a woman, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There is no compassion for dudes.
None.
Not from the hand, not through the eyes, hands, or hearts of women. Very few women have any compassion for dudes nowadays.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.